Every day, without even realizing it, you are fighting an unseen battle. It is the battle of decision fatigue. Imagine this: each decision you make, from what to wear to what to eat for dinner, chips away at your mental energy, leading to a decline in the quality of your decisions. This is the phenomenon known as decision fatigue, and it's more common than you might think. It's like a stealthy opponent, slowly wearing you down without you even noticing, until you're making irrational trade-offs and poor choices. Ever wonder why you suddenly decide to splurge on that expensive item after a long day of decision-making? Or why you opt for takeout instead of cooking a healthy meal at home? These are classic examples of decision fatigue in action. So next time you find yourself making a questionable decision, remember, it might not be a lapse in judgment, but the result of decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is a silent but powerful force that can dramatically affect our lives. But where does this fatigue come from? Why does our decision-making ability deteriorate over time? The answer lies in the very nature of our brains. Every decision we make, no matter how small, requires mental energy. From choosing what to wear in the morning to deciding what to eat for dinner, our brains are constantly at work. This persistent demand on our cognitive resources gradually depletes them, leading to what we know as decision fatigue. But decision fatigue is more than just mental tiredness. It's a unique psychological phenomenon that can impair our cognitive functioning, self-control, and endurance. It's like running a mental marathon without taking a break. Over time, our decision-making muscles get tired, and our choices may start to skew towards the irrational. Think of it this way: our brains have a limited amount of decision-making juice. Every decision we make, big or small, takes a sip of this juice. As the day progresses and we make more and more decisions, our juice levels drop. The more decisions we make, the more our decision-making capacity depletes, leading to decision fatigue. Even the most powerful minds are not immune to decision fatigue. High-profile figures like Barack Obama, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and Mark Zuckerberg have been known to streamline their wardrobes down to just 1 or 2 outfits. It might seem like a peculiar fashion choice, but there's a brilliant reason behind it. By reducing their everyday clothing options, they effectively limit the number of decisions they have to make in a day. Let's take a closer look. Barack Obama, for instance, only wore blue or gray suits during his presidency. Steve Jobs was almost always seen in his trademark black turtleneck jeans and sneakers. The idea is simple yet effective: less choices, less decision fatigue. This strategy is a practical example of how to manage decision fatigue. It's about understanding our cognitive limits and making adjustments to prevent decision overload. After all, why waste precious mental energy deciding what to wear when you can use it to make groundbreaking decisions that can change the world? Decision fatigue does not discriminate. It affects us all, from the successful entrepreneur to the average Joe. The effects of decision fatigue ripple across various fields of our lives. It's like a pesky mosquito buzzing around, influencing our choices in ways we might not even realize. Ever found yourself avoiding a decision because it just seems too overwhelming? That's decision fatigue at play, nudging us towards the path of least resistance. Now consider the impulse purchases you've made. Remember that time you bought a trendy gadget you didn't really need? Or that fancy dress that's still hanging in your closet with the tags on? Yep, you guessed it, decision fatigue might be the culprit. But it doesn't stop there. Decision fatigue can even sway the scales of justice. Studies suggest that the more decisions a judge makes in a day, the more likely they are to rule harshly. Let's not forget about its influence in healthcare, psychology, and behavioral economics. Healthcare professionals making life-altering decisions, psychologists trying to understand human behavior, economists predicting market trends, they're all susceptible to decision fatigue. Understanding decision fatigue can help us make better choices in our personal and professional lives. Now that we understand decision fatigue, how can we manage it? How can we defog our brains? The key to managing decision fatigue lies in the simple concept of reducing the number of decisions we have to make each day. You might be thinking, but how can I possibly control that? Well, there are several strategies you can adopt. Let's start with avoiding unnecessary trade-offs. Trade-offs demand mental energy as we weigh options against each other. So, if you find yourself facing a trade-off, ask yourself, is this decision truly important? If it isn't, it might be best to go with your gut feeling or stick with what you know. This can save you from the mental exhaustion that comes with overthinking. Next, consider using default options whenever possible. This idea is similar to avoiding trade-offs, but it's more about making the decision-making process more efficient. Many of our daily choices, like what to eat for breakfast or what to wear, can be automated by making them default choices. For example, having the same healthy breakfast each day or wearing a uniform of sorts, like Steve Jobs did, can drastically cut down the number of decisions you make each day. Finally, consider the concept of decision batching. This involves grouping similar decisions together and tackling them all at once. For example, planning out your meals for the week or deciding on your outfits ahead of time can help condense many decisions into one decision-making session. This way, you're not continuously taxing your brain throughout the day. Remember, these are just suggestions. Everyone's life and circumstances are different, and what works for one person may not work for another. The key is to experiment and find what strategies work best for you. The goal isn't to eliminate all decisions, but to create more mental space for the decisions that truly matter. By actively managing decision fatigue, we can improve our decision-making ability and ultimately, our quality of life. Decision fatigue is a silent enemy, but now you're armed with knowledge to combat it. We've explored the concept of decision fatigue, its origins, and how it silently infiltrates our daily lives. We've seen how it's affected high-profile figures like Barack Obama and Steve Jobs, who simplified their wardrobe to reduce daily decisions. We've delved into the implications of decision fatigue, its impact on various fields like healthcare, psychology, and behavioral economics, and how it can lead to irrational choices and impulse purchases. But most importantly, we've discussed strategies to manage it, avoiding trade-offs, adopting default options, and reducing the number of daily decisions can significantly decrease decision fatigue. Understanding and managing decision fatigue can lead to improved cognitive functioning, self-control, and endurance, enhancing the quality of your life. Remember, every decision matters. So, manage your decisions wisely. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content.